Okay, in the video prior, I created this pattern. But one problem with this pattern is it is not seamless. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to show you. So if I come on in here and I select this image and I come and I say edit copy, edit, paste in front, and I grab this and I start moving it over, what I can see here is the pattern is not a repeat, right? Okay, so what that means is that it would only work in this one size. So how do I make sure that my pattern is seamless? This is what I'm going to do. Okay, well, for starters, I have this little swatch over here which measures 4 by 4. And then when I come to this larger one is 12 by 12. So you would think, 4 by 4, 12 by 12. But what I'm going to do to really make sure this is seamless is work with the swatch that I've created here. So here goes. I'm going to come on in here and I'm going to let some of these objects run off the page. So I'm going to come on in over here, make this square bigger, and run off the page. And I am going to do the same right down in here. Let this one run off the page. Now I might need to move things around a little bit as well. Okay, and let's come on into this one as well. And let this one be a little bit bigger also. Moving things down. All right, so here goes. And again, sometimes as you start to work, you might find, that you move things around too. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lasso what is overlaying and bring it to the other side. So what I'll do is the way that I do this is I turn off the stroke and the fill. I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and I'm just going to draw, and I'm going to actually select what is coming off the side. Excellent. Now I'm going to select these different objects. So I'm going to shift click, make sure that I have all of these selected. Now, the reason why mine is selecting a whole bunch is because they were grouped, but I want to make sure that everything that is overlapping is selected. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Pathfinder window. If you don't see your Pathfinder window, you come to Window, Pathfinder, and I'm going to click this image here, which is to trim. Okay, this one right down below. Then I'm going to select off. Well, I can come back in. I'm going to Object Ungroup, Object Ungroup. I'm going to click off. All right, now I'm going to delete this little arrow. Oops, actually it took that guy. Don't want to do that just yet. Yeah, it's interesting that this one ends up disappearing sometimes. It's a stroke. You can just recreate it at the end. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift click, okay, and I'm going to move this on over. Now, if I hold down Shift, it will line it all up perfectly and come straight across. Now, here I want to drop it right in here where it says to intersect. Now, the next thing that I can do is I can start moving these guys around. So maybe I want to take him, move him on down here. Start taking this shape, moving this shape on over. You can even ungroup this shape. I'm going to come to Object, Ungroup, start moving this all around a little bit more. Hold down Shift click to get multiple objects. Oh, that one didn't move with it. It's okay. All right, same with this guy. shift click. So essentially what we're doing is we are taking what's on one side and bringing it to the other to create a true seamless pattern. Move this guy on over. All right, so there we go. Now let's do the same up at the top one more time. We're going to come on in, and again, the way that I'm doing this is I'm grabbing the rectangle tool, I'm turning all of this off, and I'm just drawing a rectangle that's going to encompass what's hanging over. Then I grab my black arrow, I hold down shift, I select all of these, and this right here. There we go. Okay, and then I come to my trim. Excellent. I click on off. Well, actually, I want to ungroup. Object, ungroup. Then I grab my black arrow. I click. I start moving. Moving on down. Again, holding down shift. Oh. All right, let's do this. So I keep moving. And I can hold down shift. Oh. All right. Sometimes you want to zoom in. I'm just using my arrows here too. That will work as well. All right, there. Now when I start moving, instead of my arrows, holding down shift, bringing this on down. And there we go. Again, I can continue to work with this and getting things the way that I want them to be. But now this right here, this design right here is what I'm going to use to create my overall, my pattern. So let's see how this one works out. I'm going to grab onto this. Again, there's some stuff over here. I could totally delete that if I wanted to. It's not going to show up anyway. And if it did, we could get rid of it. But getting rid of those residual, even though they're blank, they're still there. So I'm going to come to Object, and I'm going to say Pattern, Make. And I'm going to name this one, we're going to say OK. Name this guy Seamless. Save a copy. All right, now as I look at this too, I want to see, is there anything weird that's not lining up right? So for instance, if this guy was up here, we'd see that would create a space. But I want to make sure everything's looking good. And I'm going to say, okay, you know what? I think we're good to go. I'm going to hit done. All right, now I'm going to come on over here, zoom it on in, and I'm going to change this pattern to that one. And again, it's my last one right here. That's the seamless one. So I'm going to click onto here, and I'm going to click this. That didn't change, and the reason why was because I was, and I just was hitting that, that was all in the strokes. Let's try this one more time. First of all, I'm going to turn off the stroke. Again, you can put patterns in strokes, so sometimes if things aren't changing for you, go and look and see what's happening in the stroke. One more time, open up my swatches. I want to change the last one. There we have it. So I can see, I can change all these. These are the different ones that I've created, but I want this one right here. All right, so let's see. This one should be seamless. Let's take a look, moving this one on over one more time. Edit, copy, edit, paste in front. We're going to bring this on over. This should line up, and voila, it does, it does, it does. So now why would you want a seamless pattern? Well, again, as I've said prior, let's say that you were using something and you wanted to tile it as a background on a website, or you wanted to get this design and you wanted to print it on fabric, you wanted to send it to a place like Spoonflower, you would need to make sure, you would want to make sure that it was seamless. Okay, so we can always check. One thing I always do when I'm doing a seamless pattern is I also check the top or the bottom. So again, edit, copy, edit, paste in front. Bring this guy on up or bring it on down, either way. Bring it on over. And again, there we go, working beautifully. So I started with 4x4. You really could do any size. You could do 5x7, whatever it would be. Now, the one thing though, as you work into the next shape, just make sure that it is related to the first shapes. What does that mean? 4 by 4. If I was doing 4 by 4, I could do 8 by 8, 12 by 12, 16 by 16. If you're doing 5 by 7, you could do 10 by 14. So hopefully all of us paid attention in math class. Thanks so much. There we have creating seamless patterns in Illustrator.